This gesture is used by the most powerful and influential people in the world to gain even more power. It may seem harmless, but there's a dark truth behind it. Because if you use it the wrong way, people will think you're a creep. And before you think this is an exaggeration, this simple gesture triggers a powerful psychological switch in people's minds. It makes them see you as someone with authority. You might not know this, but the name of this gesture is called the steeple. To do it, you just touch the fingertips of both hands together, forming a triangle while keeping your palms apart. I know, it looks simple, but it's incredibly powerful because it makes you look like a leader, and that gives people a sense of safety. And whether you realize it or not, that's one of the deepest things human beings look for. We are wired to follow people who make us feel protected. When we break this gesture down, we see why it works so well. When your hands are visible, the brain assumes there's no threat. This comes from our ancient survival instinct. People who hid their hands could be armed or dangerous. So showing your hands sends a signal of safety. It lowers people's guard and builds trust. If your movements are calm and controlled, it gets even stronger. Because smooth gestures show emotional control, and the brain connects that to leadership and stability. If you look like you control yourself, people assume you can control the situation too. And there's more. The shape of the gesture matters. When it's symmetrical, like a triangle, the brain pays more attention. Organized shapes send a message of clarity, strength, and order. That makes you look more trustworthy and confident, without saying a single word. But here's the craziest part. This gesture doesn't just affect other people. It affects you too. Studies by psychologist Amy Cuddy show that powerful gestures affect your own body. Open, dominant body language, like the steeple, actually boosts testosterone, your power hormone, and lowers cortisol, your stress hormone. So when you do this gesture, you don't just look more powerful. You actually become more powerful from the inside out. But if you want to learn how to use this gesture the right way, you need to understand how leaders apply it. Watch any interview with Elon Musk, Barack Obama, or Angela Merkel. At some point, you'll see them using this gesture, and the way they do it is effortless. It looks completely natural. That's the secret. Real leaders don't use the steeple to look confident. They use it because they are confident. The gesture is just a reflection of what they're already feeling, and that's why it works. Because their mind and body are aligned. Look closely at powerful people when they use this gesture. Their back is straight, their chest is open, their face shows calm confidence. The steeple is just the final touch, the detail that completes the image. But here's the biggest mistake people make. They copy the gesture without building the foundation behind it. Imagine an anxious, fidgety person with a nervous face trying to do this gesture. It's going to look fake, like a bad actor trying to play a role he doesn't understand. People will notice, and instead of projecting power, the gesture will feel awkward. That's why the steeple isn't a magic trick. It's powerful, yes, but it only works when it comes from within. When your confidence is real, the gesture amplifies it. When it's forced, it exposes your insecurity. This is the difference between someone who masters the gesture and someone who's just trying to copy it. Leaders use the steeple in strategic moments, when they want to look calm while facing a tough question, when they're listening but still want to show they control the conversation, when they pause before answering, creating tension and authority. They know how to use silence as a weapon. They know how to use pauses between words to create impact. And the steeple is like a silent signal of power that most people don't even notice. But here's another secret. They don't keep this gesture the whole time. They mix it with other movements. Because true power comes from contrast, not from repetition. The steeple is there to mark your presence. But you need to be very careful. Because the same gesture that can make you look like a leader can also make you look like a psychopath, a creep, or even a movie villain trying to take over the world. And the worst part, most of the time, you don't even realize it. The steeple stops working the moment it looks fake, when you use it to act like someone you're not. And even worse, when you don't realize how others are perceiving you. Picture this. You're in a casual, relaxed conversation with friends or co-workers, and suddenly you sit down, touch your fingertips together like a triangle, and stay silent with a judgmental face. Boom. The vibe in the room changes instantly. You don't look confident anymore. You look weird. That's called social context mismatch. Your body is sending one message, but the situation is asking for another. And that creates tension, discomfort, and distrust. Another common mistake is holding the gesture for too long. If you keep your fingers steepled for several minutes without moving, you'll come across as stiff, arrogant, or like you're trying too hard to look powerful. It stops looking natural, and it starts looking like a performance. Now here's something almost no one talks about, but your subconscious picks up on it. There's a symbolic element to this gesture. The triangle shape with your fingers can sometimes resemble a vulva. And if you're doing this gesture at waist level, it can send out a weird, even sexual energy. Especially in certain environments, it can look creepy or inappropriate, even if that's not your intention at all. So instead of looking confident, you might look like a creep trying to be seductive with your fingers. You need to understand, the power of the steeple isn't in the gesture itself. It's in the alignment between what you do, what you feel, and what the environment allows. If you use it without that awareness, the gesture loses all its strength, and you lose with it. But here's the good news. There is a right way to use the steeple, and that's exactly what you're going to learn next. The first rule to make this gesture work is simple. Only use it when you're already calm on the inside, because the gesture only projects confidence if your energy is aligned with it. There's no point in touching your fingertips if your eyes are darting around, your voice is shaking, and your posture is falling apart. Your entire body needs to be in sync with the message you're sending. So before anything else, fix your breathing, relax your shoulders, and keep your gaze steady. Now, let's get to the practical part. You should use the steeple in formal or professional settings, or anytime people are paying close attention to you, like in meetings, interviews, presentations, or negotiations. When doing the gesture, keep your hands between your waist and your face. If you're sitting, you can rest your elbows on the table. Let your fingertips touch gently, without stiffness. As for how long to hold it, just a few seconds. Use it during a pause in your speech, or while listening, to show presence without needing to speak. But be careful not to make these common mistakes. Don't use it while your body is tense. Don't hold it too long, and never position it too low, especially near your waist, or you'll fall into that weird sexual interpretation we talked about earlier. And most important of all, never depend on this gesture to feel powerful. It's not the source of your power. It's just an amplifier. Real power starts inside. This gesture only reveals what's already there. So if you want to be seen as solid, respectful, and in control, without raising your voice, the steeple can be a powerful tool. But never forget, posture without presence is just posing, and the world is already full of people trying to look like something they're not. Now that you've learned the hidden power behind this gesture, it's time to take things to the next level and learn how to dominate any room, with one silent move used by the most powerful people in the world. It's a move so subtle, most people don't even realize it's happening. But once you master it, people will start paying attention the moment you walk in. without you having to say a single word. Click on the video that's showing up on your screen right now and discover the silent move that will make you impossible to ignore.